Morning. It's the first day, and who of you has already downloaded the app? One out of a million. Okay. So I'll tell you later how it works and how easy it is, okay? But for now, we're going to start with a little talk here. So welcome to Covestro at the K'2016. Covestro wurde 2015 gegründet, and it is going strong ever since. It is a world-leading polymers company, as you know, ein Unternehmen, das Produkte herstellt und ermöglicht, die wir überall in unserem Alltag finden. Und bei allen Entwicklungen will Covestro eines: to push boundaries of what is possible, to make the world a brighter place. Daher ganz kurze Frage mal an Sie. Quick question to you. What would make the world a brighter place from your point of view?
Easy to see through my glasses.
Okay, easy to see through your glasses. At the moment, you're not wearing any, but it's still something that you'd love.
Sometimes for reading the newspaper,
okay.
And then you always have to wash it.
Good
because
point.
Too many dust on it. So
okay,
why not something that could self-cleaning?
Okay, self-cleaning glasses. Good. Anything else? Let's see. Just a second one. What is your what would make your day brighter?
I'm looking through a water which looks like a glass, but it isn't glass. It's polycarbonates, and that certainly makes my day a brighter day.
Because it's yellow and it reflects the sun.
I love it.
Excellent, thank you very much. So, by the way, übrigens können Sie auch Fragen stellen. Of course, you can all ask questions to with the upcoming information, with the talk, because innovation is always about co-creation. Working on something together. So Covestro möchte erreichen, dass die Welt a brighter place wird. Und zwar in segments like automotive, construction, electrical and electronics industries, as well as wooden furniture, sports and leisure. Doch wie sieht sowas aus? What does this look like when innovation knows no boundaries? It is all present. It's in the office. It's in the plant or in your glasses, in collaboration with colleagues, customers and suppliers, and along the entire value-added chain. Wie das konkret aussieht, das werden wir jetzt erfahren, because now we'll be talking, in plain English, about such a thought as you can't use films to guide light. And Covestro would ask the one question: why not? And what happens if you answer this question is what I will now be talking about with the MFA Program Director Industrial Designer from the Umeå Institute of Design from Sweden, Demian Horst. And also we have Kamislav Fadel, member of the Executive Board from Hella, KGA, welcome, as well as his colleague Steffen Pietzonka, Head of Global Marketing, OE Lighting from Hella, welcome to you. And from Covestro we have Rainer Hagen, Project Manager. We have Jochen Hardt, the VP Global Marketing, Automotive and Transportation, and last but by no means least, Platte, Marketing Lead within the Industrial Marketing serving automotive and transportation sectors. All from Covestro and all with business cards that must be that big to get a title like that on it. But congratulations to that. So we were talking about the concept car, of course. Who's actually seen it? It's on the other side of the booth. Okay. Oh wow, they've all seen it, and maybe we even have a screenshot to show it to you. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So when you start with a project like that, how do you start? I mean, it's all nice and dandy to see these things as 3D renderings or whatever, but how do you actually start with a project like that? Just pick a microphone, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, let me go straight into that. How did that all start? Basically 2 years ago, we met with Demian the first time from Umeå Institute of Design. What was driving us? The experience from the markets with customers, automotive customers. Design gets more and more important. Design drives automotive industry. Design drives differentiation. If you look into automotive OEMs, cars become exchangeable, like many other products. So why do customers buy or prefer brand A versus brand B?
Okay.
It's a lot about design, about the style. Automotive is about emotion. Yeah, and with this comes a lot materials into play and markets. And we try to combine that, and we started 2 years back the first design collaboration project between Between that time, it was still biomaterial science. And based on that first international product, it was a very diverse student body, 12 people from all over the world, a lot of people from China, from Japan. We had people from North America, from Europe. So very diverse, brilliant ideas. And what we collected was lots of ideas which went into a second design collaboration in a design internship here in Leverkusen, where we really had a deep dive also in combination then with technology and materials into what resulted now in that nice, beautiful car. It was driving us as an overarching topic, of course. Automotive is really about to change. The whole industry is about to reinvent itself. We will talk about electric cars predominantly, globally, because we have global emission targets. We need to fulfill that. We need environmental friendly cars. They need to look differently. They will be built differently. That means thinking beyond the context of current automotive in terms of materials, technology, and also addressing new market needs, new customer needs. What do customers really want? This was part of basically the initiative in our collaboration. And then later on, we pulled a good business partner in. I mean, Hella was then the main partner for us, driving real lighting technology. We will talk about that later. The car really incorporates state-of-the-art latest lighting technology. And it's not just a nice-looking piece. It's pure technology, high-tech. It's about future automotive context.
Okay, we'll talk about the nice-looking piece in a second, but for now you already mentioned it. You have Hella here as your project partner, Mr. Fadel. From your point of view, I mean, it has to sell. It's a great idea if you have the product, but how do you turn it into something that you can actually sell that really appeals to the people who be driving those cars?
Okay, so just let me, before answering your question, give a little different perspective or another perspective to the lighting, how it evolves. So headlamps and rear lamps, I think you know it's as old as the automobile. It means in the first Gottlieb Daimler, there were already headlamps and rear lamps. For sure, nothing to do with what we have today. And since that day, our products evolved dramatically. And why they were evolving? I think there were several forces which were pushing the lighting to evolve. The first one is the reason why we exist is the security, safety, to be seen and to procure a good visibility to the customer. So this driver was very strong since the last 100 years. And coming from the early 90s, there is another very strong force started to evolve our products, is the styling. Styling is, as you already mentioned, it's very important for the car. It creates emotion, it creates personalization, and as some of Dr. Hohn from Audi was saying, the shortest way to the wallet is go through the heart. So if you are really catching the eye, that's okay. So now styling is nice, but we need to realize it. We need materials, we need new things. Everything started with the first plastic lenses, and with that technology we started to open a little bit the door for the styling. Another hurdle was the technology. We had big reflectors and all the cars were looking somehow the same. And with the new LED technologies, we were fostering or enabling the stylists to do more things. And for sure, this is always a challenge for us to realize the styling ideas, but this is for sure for the good, and it's a very good, conflict. What I wanted also to say now, you see, what will be the future? Maybe this is a question that we are trying, why we did this prototype. We are all trying to understand what's the future. So the future is, in our idea, also a kind of prolongation of the current trends and of the current forces that we see. And what we did together with Covestro and also with the collaboration with the styling is just extrapolating what the future could be. So if you see this car, we have quite nice technologies. Technologies are done like the holographic to create emotion. You don't see the elements exactly in one place. They are floating in the air. They're creating a wow effect. And remember what Dr. Hohn said. The shortest way to the wallet is the heart.
It's a wow effect.
So, and we are continuing to develop new technologies, high definition headlamps, which will enhance the functionalities, enhance the styling, and for that we need new materials. So you understood the game is in collaboration. We cannot do as Hella all this. We need partners, we need challenging ideas from the market, and of this collaboration will be somehow the result of the future, and very interesting topics like the prototype you saw here.
And before we get to the wow effect of the holographics, I mean, Demian, you must have just shivered because you said, well, design is nice, you know. it's nice, but safety and security are most important. Firstly, is that correct? And secondly, will that change? I mean, does it change already that people say, well, it's nice to have a good design. Nowadays they say, it's the most important thing to have a good design because the other features are taken for granted.
Yeah, I think that
Little
is this
closer.
on?
Yeah.
The design is the differentiating factor. There's no question. When we as an education partner, we have a responsibility to prepare very skilled and responsible designers for the future, and their role is to be right there in the middle, facilitating the communication between the different experts, to understand the needs from the market, to understand what appeals to people, to really make a summary of all that and be able also to communicate their ideas in a very effective way. To work with Covestro, and unfortunately at that time we didn't have Hell on board, but I'm so happy to see that now we have the holographic feature in, because remember, the students were so curious about how could they implement holography into the design, and in 10 weeks time that we had the collaboration, that was not possible to achieve. We could only imagine, but that idea persisted and it went across and it's now here, visible. So I'm really excited to see the outcome.
And the guests can be excited too, because later today, about 3 p.m., you'll be revealing some magic. You have your own keynote then, and we'll dive deeper into that. Because now it's been mentioned twice, the holographic aspect, the wow aspect, the getting straight to the money aspect. So what is the secret of that? Maybe we can have a microphone for your colleague.
The secret of
Hold
that.
it really
We're not
close.
talking about the chemistry, because the chemistry is really the secret about that.
Okay,
but
so
we're not going to talk about that.
Let's talk about the secret around the secret.
Around the secret,
Okay.
excellent. No,
Make it even
just
like a
kidding.
secret
Just-
onion.
Just kidding, yeah.
A little closer.
No, the secret is about,
Yeah.
the secret is, the,
Da.
even louder, thank you.
That's chemistry.
All right.
Good. The secret. Go on.
The secret is really to convince designers about the fanciness of a hologram. You would not like to have a hologram like in a museum. You might have seen holograms here or there in a dark room, like a big wall, but it should not look like skulls and bones. And the secret is really to bring out a design that is compelling to Hella. You should be a little bit closer to today's brand signature in the rear lamp. Maybe it's even wiser to do a revolutionary new design and record with lasers new objects, flying objects as virtual illusion in a lamp. But how to decide? And the project got faster when I got in direct contact with the Hella designers. Those designers are really smart and creative. I don't think that I'm a creative person, but the link between designers and technology guys really started off here.
Okay, so before we dive a little deeper into the how and what happened, let's just see, are there any questions so far to these gentlemen that you'd like to ask about the stuff that they already mentioned, about things that they haven't mentioned that you want clarified? If so, just raise your hand. We've got microphones so people can actually come up to you and you can phrase your question if you want to. There's no need at the moment. Excellent. So we can just, go on here. So when you talk about a special feature like holographics, that is a specific design feature. Will it be about those specific features like little products or add-ons that you can create? Or do you have to think about processes or solutions rather than single products?
Yeah, it's clear in the from our engineering approach so far until recent years, we were pretty much focused, develop technology, see what the technology can give, and then push the technology to the market. With the new high definition, for example, features or the holographic features, we see that the technology is no longer a bottleneck. to realize the topics. The question is which one you want and why you want to do it. So now our approaches are changing. We are not driving the technology, but we are asking ourselves which kind of features, which kind of functionalities, which kind of needs are over there in the market. And then when we understand that, we are drilling to the technology, which one we have to develop in order to address these needs.
Okay.
And this is a little bit, as I mentioned, different from the past, because we have now, maybe we can talk about, in this car we have the 84 pixel module, which is now in the market with the new E-Class. And we are already in our laboratories, we have headlamps with 30,000 pixels, even prototype with close to 500,000 pixels. And yeah, this enables you, if you wish to play a movie on the road, you have a very high definition of the headlamp, which can help you to do your light distribution with the software.
Okay,
So
that's absolutely amazing.
A lot of changes are coming, and as I mentioned, for that, also for these ones, we need special materials. It is not possible for any company to act alone. So the secret, if you ask for a secret, is the collaboration. It's the right partnership and the right collaboration with the right partners on the right topics. So this is what brings you innovative and drives the innovation in the future.
And I think one of the other secrets is, you mentioned it, it's not thinking in target groups anymore, but thinking in needs. What does a person need? Just let me double check with the audience. Who of you would actually drive a car or be driven in an autonomously driving car? Who would like that? Okay. Who would like his Porsche to be autonomously driven?
Sometimes.
So this is two needs in one person, okay? So, Mr. Platte, we talked about it beforehand. You basically fed me that idea. So we have different scenarios, different needs. How does a collaboration like this cater for those needs?
Well, I really think from our standpoint that the collaboration ends up being key, but it actually starts from the customer interface in the experiences that the customers are asking. You raised the question about, is everybody going to want to have an autonomous vehicle? Personally, I don't think so. I think we're looking at, there's going to be multiple vehicle options available to people, but our end customers are the ones determining how those vehicles are going to get made. So whether it's an internal combustion engine or an electric vehicle or it's an autonomous vehicle, certain things are going to need to be consistent across those vehicles in order for that experience to occur. And the key thing for our collaboration is to be able to be challenging each other in terms of what's the technology with regard to illumination. As someone said earlier today, it's really more about light than it is about the lamps, and that's about where the technology is driving. That challenges us in terms of what we can do from a material standpoint, and then it also then enables the design community to be able to challenge both of us in terms of how are those going to play out to create that experience across whatever kind of vehicle someone wants to produce.
So that means there's an entirely different process of getting there as well. So designing changes in terms of how you interact and how you collaborate, Demian?
I'm here thinking how we actually approach this topic, and we did a lot of free experimentation around lighting effects without really thinking about how they should actually be created. We tried in a very artistic way to get emotions out of just lighting, behaving with different materials. The students at the time understood this kind of behavior of light and try to be inspired by that and apply that into a vehicle context, really freely, not really thinking about specific functions that needed to be fulfilled and so on. So hopefully that's a possibility that we can continue working like that, and technology is supporting. We have ideas, we are able to visualize, explain the potential of these, and then we have support to actually test and implement this into reality.
So that's almost like multi-level thinking, almost
Definitely,
like multitasking. Yeah. I mean, I can't even drive and listen to the radio at the same time, let alone think about these things in such a colorful way, as Covestro would put it. But Mr. Pietzonka, you just grabbed the microphone. How did? Firstly, what is it you want to say? And secondly, if I can put it in a question, So how do you experience that? I mean, you're the ones who actually have to make money with the final product. So you're involved in the process, and of course you always have this monetary aspect with you, don't you?
Well, the monetary aspect is at all of us somehow. But in general, working in marketing, I always have some kind of an end consumer perspective.
Okay.
And what do I observe since, I would say, since years, but the technology wasn't there really, somehow of an interaction between the vehicle and the driver itself. So looking back maybe 20 years ago, the early xenon headlamps, even that there was some kind, if you switch the light on, there was some kind of a small movement indicating some kind of a reference run of the headlamps. From the technical point of view, it wasn't necessary, but it was somehow a way of showing the driver, okay, there's something different to the traditional ones, where you've spent some money on. And this kind of interaction between a vehicle and the consumer, that is increasing. So looking on today's solution, for example, if you go to a car, you experience somehow of a welcome scenario. So your car welcomes you, saying hello, nice to see you, and something like that. So with the new BMW 7 Series, when you open the door and unlock the vehicle, some kind of a light carpet is rolling out in front of the vehicle, welcoming you. So in this kind of solutions, we will see much more. And in the future, I would expect that the car is being a buddy of the person itself, is able to interact with connectivity features. And that is a quite interesting thing. And also the opportunity for all the industry, we see even the technologies are getting somehow more and more complex, and it's difficult to explain it to the end consumer. And whenever we see a feature which is really nice looking and also offers some kind of dynamization or whatever, then the end consumer is really catching the technology and maybe so therefore design, dynamization and functionality comes together to bring new technologies to end consumers.
Okay, so just before we finish with the last round of the future steps or so, let me just double check again. Although it's a complex topic, you are allowed to ask simple questions, if there is any in your head. So now would be a great possibility, because now I still have them all here, and they would actually answer your questions if you had any. Sometimes they speak so much that no questions are left unanswered, but is there anything you want to know? From the designer, from Hella, from Covestro, from the people who actually come up with the ideas and turn them into a reality. Doesn't seem to be the case. Going, gone. Ah, so after the bell. Okay. Yes, sir. There's a microphone so we can hear you. Hang on.
Hello?
Yeah.
If the customer like this design, how fast can be commercialized?
Good question. I never dared to ask that one. Mr. Platte.
Following the logic in automotive, I would say the minimum before any kind of design change can be done is SOP minus 36. So I would say at least, because it's lots of new technology, 3 to 5 years. If you start now, today, an OEM comes up here and says, I would like to do with you a car like this. 5 years, why not? What do you think, Mr. Father?
And it starts.
From my point of view is we are living in an accelerated world. And for sure, it is currently this minus 36. But if you go 10 years before, it was maybe minus 48 and minus 52. And that is the challenge. We have to be, if you look to the cars, Audi, for example, has Audi 80, 90, 100, 200 and Quattro. That was the Audi brand 20 years ago. Now they have 25 cars, and they are doing it with 2 times less development time. And this, what you are referring to, we are living it. It is an additional challenge to what we discussed. We have the time to market is shrinking, and that is pushing. We had an earlier chat between us. Will also challenge the paradigm where we are working, the business models, and will foster the collaboration. So I am expecting in the future that the 36 will be becoming 24 and even less because the market is needing it. And we have to find the solutions.
And also 36 months, that's a lot less than the normal life cycle any kind of series of automotive cars has. So that is a very realistic and very fast time
Especially
frame.
for lighting, I don't know if you are aware, but our lifetime is not 6-7 years of the car because we have the facelift. And what we change in the facelift, guess what? lighting and rear lamps. So we have lifetime of 3 years in our product. So as just we are finishing, we are starting with the next one.
Excellent. So, Mr. Platte, you also had an answer to the question.
I was just going to mention, you'd said if the customer likes something, how fast can they get it? My answer is always, it depends. Some of the things have to go through regulations and have to go through developments, and there's other facets that would not need to do this. This is something that I'm learning here as well. So some of the design features that someone might see on one vehicle could be anticipated on the next vehicle. And one of the things that we're actually trying to develop is ways to be able to quickly change over some of the design schemes. And this is one of the things that the hologram and holography actually enables, is that you can actually print different holographic images. And so someone could conceivably, when they order the vehicle, select from different types of images or even provide a particular image, and then they could actually get it when they order the vehicle itself. So some of those images end up going through regulations, and some of those things don't. So I think that that's going to be one of the changes that we're going to see in the automotive industry. Is a lot more, people talk about individualization and customization. I think that's going to be one of the key drivers for us.
Okay, just let's double check. Is there anything else that just came up that you want answered? Yes, sir, over there.
Hello, I have a question regarding the, when I hear you talking, I hear a lot of, still maybe hardware-centric, car-centric conversation. We're moving towards a sharing economy, maybe more service-based. Could it be that, this customization that we're talking about could be not about the car, but about, the person who walks in, and the same vehicle could provide different experiences to different people depending on what they're looking for?
Yeah, you have to give him back his microphone, otherwise.
Maybe I can. So remember when I said we are few years from putting very high definition solutions on the market, and from that point of time, you can really individualize it even with apps. So if you are car sharing, you can imagine a future where your configuration of the car is somehow saved, and you can really communicate when you enter in the car, being it from the interior design, because also there the light is very much evolving. Also to this, a lot of pixels or LEDs where you can command with the software. So the individualization could come from that point of time relatively easy. So, and as you mentioned, it's pre-built and then it has to be configured. For sure, within the boundary of the legislation. Did that answer your question?
Excellent.
Okay.
Gentlemen, we have 2 new guests here. Welcome. So we do have to start from scratch. Just kidding. But what you can, because we've been here for a couple of minutes already, but what I can offer you and you together is a quick glimpse into the future. And I suggest we do it as follows. I'll give you the first half of a sentence, and then you just finish it with what is coming up next, okay? Because Patrick Thomas said, once it's up here, it's done, it's dealt with. It will be a reality. So what's the next thing that you're going to tackle? So the next thing you are going to sink your teeth in is a microphone, for starters.
Is more light in the car's exterior to provide better safety.
Excellent. So not only lamps, but all around, okay? Next thing you're going to sink your teeth into is?
Total integration of lighting functions and also reflecting autonomous cars and car sharing models, free programmable content-wise modules integrated in the polycarbonate structure, which is also reflected here in the car, what we already have. Polycarbonate glazing structure all around and complete integration, partially invisible, also reflecting now on elements of automotive driving like LiDAR sensor integration, other things. Have a look at the car, you will see it. It's a nice piece of demonstration going on.
Excellent. You've got a lot on your plate. Okay, next, design-wise, what's the next thing you're going to do?
I'll keep preparing students to push these boundaries by design.
Okay.
I think that's the best I can do.
And that's what we're going to see later on today. How
I
that
think
actually
in my
works.
presentation later we will address a few of the questions, maybe the ones that were not asked
cool.
today, hopefully. So you're welcome to join me at 3
o'clock. It pays
o'clock.
to stick around till 3 o'clock.
Right.
But before we get into that, what's the next thing Hella's going to tackle in terms of lighting revolution or evolution?
I think it's shortly, it's extremely exciting what's in front of us. In contrast to the boring past, what will happen in the next years is digitalization,
Okay.
pixelization of the light, individualization. Also, the complexity will increase, but the communication between the light as a communication factor will increase. And for sure, the need of collaboration, this will be much more stronger even than today. So the way how we are working will definitely be changed, and there are a lot of opportunities over there. But to answer to your question, digitalization, individualization, these are the topics where the lighting is faced now.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Since you're colleagues, I just ask, is there anything you'd like to add? Or are you allowed to add anything? Is he your boss?
No, I think the trend in general will proceed, and that's really nice for us, that lighting has become one major part of the vehicle branding. So therefore, lighting is essential next to the vehicle logo and the vehicle grille. Lighting is the third part where vehicle manufacturers are differentiate their vehicle. That is really nice, and that will also proceed. And then it goes also to your direction, what you've asked. My dream would be a complete interacting vehicle, reacting to my emotions, to my feelings, and also knowing my needs in advance and help to support me while going from A to B.
Okay, excellent. Wow, that's a big catalog. And you already have the solutions in your next steps, do you?
Oh, yes. Well, to me, the real challenge and the thing that we're going to be doing next is figuring out how to cascade these solutions internationally, but then also through different types of vehicles. A lot of times people think of these in terms of the premium vehicles, but the same technologies can be implemented on, I'll say, more of a mass production type of a vehicle as well, and then allow the OEMs to be able to cascade that brand across all of their different vehicles. And I think that that's going to be one of the next challenges of combining the materials with the technology, with the designs, and the individualization that people are talking about.
Excellent. Last question for all the ladies and gentlemen that are here that would like to speak to you on a more one-to-one basis or even find out about that model. Where's that situated? Where can they go on the booth so they can get more information?
It's exactly on the other side.
It's just on the other side. Yep. Okay, so that's easy because it's round, you just follow it. Excellent. Well, and it's big also. Gentlemen, thank you very much for answering all my tedious questions. To you, thank you very much for listening and for asking one question. That's great. It's a good start for day number 1. We'll have 2 on day number 2. If you want to, you can come back at 3 o'clock sharp. Then Demian will give his presentation and reveal some of the magic behind the design. If you feel like another talk, we'll be back here tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And then, of course, we have a different topic. And you can look it up because I'm not going to give it away. A little bit of curiosity is very good. It keeps this company going. Thank you very much. Have a great day and see you soon. Bye-bye.